More. They're off.
Market
The
suspended.
festival springs into action
Market
with the Skybet
in
Supreme
play.
Novices Hurdle, and Tully Hill, one of a pair of greys, leads them over the opening flight. Favour and Fortune made quite a serious mistake. It's knocked him back to be last but one, with Super Sunday in the red and white, one of the early back markers, and they make the long run between the opening two flights. So the grey Tully Hill with head bowed low, the keen going Slade Steel black sleeves out wide, and Tell Her the Name up between them, and they round out the leading trio. The second of the greys, Kings Hill, stalks them with Asian Master, the blue sleeves, handy. Jericho de Repenay, the white cap for Nico de Boinville, tucked away towards the inside running rail. With back in midfield, Firefox, spot the red cap for Jack Kennedy. And then Mr. Gift, the double green for Daryl Jacob, racing in advance of Mystical Power, the star on the cap as they bear down on flight two. Favour and Fortune after that first flight error is last but one, and Super Sunday remains at the tail. 11 of them then meet rising ground for the first time at this year's festival, and they go along at a fairly steady 26 miles an hour with no more than 6 or 7 lengths covering the field. Tully Hill and Tell Her the Name in the mauve and pink dispute the running. They race a length clear now to Slade Steel, Jericho de Repenay towards the inside running rail, racing upside Kings Hill. And then Asian Master in the blue and yellow, Thomas Costello has got him settled, circling the field, just ahead of Firefox, Mystical Power, Mr. Giff in the double green, and then Favour and Fortune and Super Sunday as they freewheel on down towards the third. Tell Her the Name, racing wide of Tully Hill. Slade Steel, who was keen in the early part of the race, seems to have settled better now. Takes off and lands in third place. Jericho de Repenay wasn't quite as fluent as one or two of those around him, but he quickly recovers his composure, and they move on towards the fourth. Tell Her the Name, Tully Hill and Slade Steel. Asian Master is out wide to the grey Kings Hill, then Jericho de Repenay. Ahead of Firefox, Mystical Power, the hoops the star on the cap from Favour and Fortune, Mr. Giff, and Super Sunday remains last of a well-grouped field in the Skybet Supreme. And again, Favour and Fortune not particularly fluent. He wasn't good at the first, and he wasn't good at the fourth either. Racing across the top of the track, steadily approaching the halfway point and moving on towards the fifth. And Tell Her the Name just shades the advantage to Tully Hill, who's yet to leave the inner under Paul Townend, remains very close to the leader. Slade Steel is a little deeper out and wider still to Asian Master. Then Jericho de Repenay, the white cap, within 2 lengths of the lead, upsides the grey Kings Hill. Firefox, red cap, waited within midfield alongside Mystical Power to Mr. Gift, Favour and Fortune and Super Sunday, still last of the field as they run on down the hill on the length